You step outside. No streetlights. No skyline. No roads cutting through the hills. Just trees, water, and sky stretching farther than you've ever seen it stretch. For most of human history, this wasn't a special view. This was the only view. For roughly 300,000 years, your ancestors looked at a planet that would be almost unrecognizable to you today. Different coastlines, different forests, different animals walking past their fires. What did Earth actually look like to them? Start with the most basic fact. Ancient humans didn't see maps. They saw horizons. Researcher Colin Renfrew has written about how early human geography was built almost entirely from what a person could walk in a lifetime, often no more than a few dozen kilometers from where they were born. Your ancestors weren't picturing a globe. They were picturing the next ridge, the next river, the next place where the deer might be. That alone changes everything about how they saw the world. There was no far away. There was only known and unknown. But the land itself was different too. Not just unfamiliar to them. Physically different from what exists in the same place today. During the last ice age, massive amounts of water were locked into glaciers. Sea levels dropped by more than 100 meters in some periods. Archaeologist Curtis Marion has described how this exposed entire coastal plains that are now underwater, land bridges and shorelines that don't exist anymore. Where you might see open ocean today, an ancient human might have walked across solid ground, hunting along a coastline that no longer exists in any form. Picture that for a moment. The coast of South Africa, the land connecting Asia to the Americas. Entire ecosystems now sitting at the bottom of the sea. Now picture what was standing on that land. Geneticist David Reich has traced the migration of early humans out of Africa, beginning around 60,000 to 70,000 years ago. As people spread north and east, they crossed terrain that doesn't match anything in those regions now. Grasslands where deserts sit today. Cooler, wetter climates in places that are now arid. The Sahara itself cycled through green periods, with lakes and rivers where there is now only sand. So the climate was different. The coastlines were different. What about the animals? Picture a hunter walking near what is now southern France, 17,000 years ago. The site of Lascaux Cave preserves detailed paintings of animals that no longer exist anywhere on Earth. Woolly mammoths. Giant deer with antlers spanning over 3 meters. Aurochs, the massive wild ancestor of modern cattle. These weren't myths. These were the animals sharing the landscape with the people drawing them. Your ancestors weren't looking at an empty wilderness. They were looking at a planet still full of megafauna, animals so large that a single kill could feed an entire group for days. Here's where it gets more interesting. Ancient humans didn't just see this world. They started recording it. At Blombos Cave in South Africa, archaeologist Christopher Henshelwood and his team uncovered engraved pieces of ochre dated to roughly 75,000 years ago. Deliberate cross-hatched patterns. Among the earliest known evidence that humans were trying to represent something abstract, something beyond a simple picture of an animal. Tens of thousands of years later, at Chauvet Cave in France, humans were painting horses, lions, and rhinos on cave walls with a level of detail that still impresses artists today. Some of these paintings are over 36,000 years old. Archaeologists Lewis Williams and Pierce have argued that for these communities, the cave wasn't just a canvas. It was treated as a kind of membrane between the visible world and something deeper, a layer of meaning behind the landscape itself. So when your ancestors looked at the world, they weren't just seeing trees and animals. They were seeing a place worth recording, worth explaining, worth turning into symbols on a wall. Now here's the twist. The version of Earth they were looking at wasn't shaped only by nature. It was already being shaped by them. Fire changed everything. Long before agriculture, long before permanent settlements, humans were using fire to deliberately alter landscapes. Historian Stephen Pine has documented how controlled burning, going back hundreds of thousands of years, cleared brush, encouraged new plant growth, and opened up hunting grounds. The untouched wilderness your ancestors walked through wasn't always untouched. In many places, it had already been edited by human hands holding burning branches. That means the world ancient humans saw wasn't a static backdrop. It was a landscape in motion, shifting under climate change, shifting under rising and falling seas, and shifting under their own hands. So let's reconstruct a single moment. You're standing on a ridge 30,000 years ago. Below you, a valley with a river that doesn't exist on any modern map because the coastline has since moved. In the distance, a herd of woolly mammoths grazes near a tree line your ancestors helped shape with fire seasons earlier. The sky above you has no light pollution. The stars are not a rare sight. They are the only light source after dusk, every single night of your life. There's no sense that this view is temporary. To you, this is simply what Earth looks like. It has always looked like this. It will always look like this. Except it didn't and it doesn't. Now think about what you see when you step outside today. Paved roads where ancient riverbeds once ran. Cities built on coastlines that didn't exist in their current shape 10,000 years ago. Skies that, in most places, no longer show you the full night sky your ancestors saw without effort. The wildest part isn't that the planet changed. Planets change. The wildest part is how fast it changed once humans got involved, and how little of that change most of us ever stop to picture. Your ancestors didn't have GPS, didn't have maps, didn't know the shape of the continents they were walking across. But they were paying close attention to the version of Earth right in front of them, close enough to paint it, engrave it, and pass down what they saw to you. You step outside. No streetlights. No skyline. No roads cutting through the hills. Except now, that's not the world in front of you. That world is the one they saw. And somewhere underneath everything you're looking at right now, it's still there.